Hi, welcome San Diego. This is Real Talk San Marcos. I'm Debi Krichbaum, your host, and I've got two wonderful guests with me today. Before I introduce them, let me go ahead and thank our two sponsors, First American Title and 5 Star Escrow. And without further ado, I've got two amazing guests here with me today. I'll start far down at the end. I have Alvin Acosta.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Thank you. And then I have Lisa Mazzotta.
Thank you for having me. It's nice to be here.
Thank you. Nice to see you both. So what we're going to do today is we've got an amazing show. These two guests are going to kind of unveil their storylines as we go. We've got an amazing opportunity that doesn't come around very often where we have a non-local here, and that's Lisa. Lisa is here, and her best story, I guess, would be she's got an amazing film that I watched this morning, and it literally blew my mind. It's part of the San Diego International Film Festival, and it's called River Blue. And Lisa, before we get started, thank you so much for coming the extra distance to see us today.
It's a pleasure, and it was easy, and I'm happy to be here.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, thank you so much.
And then more of a local, actually, with our local San Diegan, Alvin is here with 113 Media SD, or Media San Diego. Mm-hmm. And Alvin's claim to fame that he's going to show us lots of great things about is he does local marketing, both for entrepreneurs as well as business owners and people that are really trying to get a digital footprint for their business. So before we do all that, though, let's warm up with a few things to just get everybody feeling comfortable. So to start out, how about ice cream? That's always a safe topic. Lisa, what's your favorite flavor if you were to go somewhere and get a scoop or two?
Back in the day, I would say it was mint chocolate chip.
Gotcha.
Now I've gotten into like my Italian side and I go gelato a lot, but I would say mint chocolate chip was my favorite.
Oh, I like that. And I actually think they do have a mint chocolate in a gelato too.
Yeah, they do now.
Yes, they do.
Best of all worlds.
Yeah, we live up in the Carlsbad area, and I was down in the village just the other day, and that was one of the flavors that was chosen. Yes.
Nice.
How about you, Alvin? What's your favorite ice cream?
Cookies and cream.
Oh, another good choice.
Yeah, but I like them all.
Yeah, I just don't understand the people that walk into like a 31 Flavors or Baskin Robbins or something and order vanilla. I just don't understand that.
Yeah, no.
You can make it at home. No.
Yeah, exactly. And then let's assume, because we all, appear to be reasonably healthy, that we're big water drinkers.
Yeah.
That on a non-water day, if you were going to choose something really syrupy and sweet, would it be a Coke, a Pepsi, a Sprite? What would you choose?
Coffee.
Coffee, okay.
I was going to say I'm an iced tea kind of girl.
Okay, iced tea. I would say I kind of go both directions. I love an iced coffee and I love an iced tea. Once in a blue moon, a good old Coca-Cola Classic sounds kind of good too.
If I were to do like a soda, I love Dr. Pepper.
There you go.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm trying to steer away because, gotta be healthy.
I
It
know.
doesn't work out. It's so good.
And it is, and I find it amazes me how dentists always talk about how bad the sodas really can be for you. So
Yeah.
if we want to have the pearly whites that we all are kind of flashing, keep away from the
I
sodas.
just checked out everyone's teeth.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, white teeth. Okay, the weirdest question, how this will make you think a little bit. If you were going on a long international flight, and you were just getting ready to get on the airplane, and the flight attendant said, "Oh, I'm so sorry, there's only so much room. You can only bring 2 things with you on the flight, but then you'll receive everything at your final destination."
Oh.
Alvin, we'll start with you. What would be the 2 things that you'd bring?
This is a hard one. Can I pass? I have to think about it.
Sure, absolutely.
A big
Lisa will
warm
put you on
sweater, a big warm sweater because I know I'll get cold, and my phone. Music.
Absolutely.
Or a computer, but yeah.
Good choices. I'll fill in the gap for you
Yeah.
for a moment, give you another minute. It's like at a restaurant when you can't decide what to order. I would bring on great headphones. I do love to have some quality headphones. And then I would probably, the ATM card to make sure I could get some additional adult beverages on the flight as
Very
well.
important. Good call.
Yeah.
I'd have to make friends to be able to get someone.
That's true.
Going moneyless.
Yeah. Although it is true, a lot of international flights do provide extra beverages without extra cost. But all right, back to you, Alvin. What's your choice?
I would say the cell phone and headphones, because I would assume that they would provide blankets. So
True.
Yeah. So if it were 2 things that I would provide myself, it'd probably be those those two things.
That makes good sense. And I do have to laugh when you said blankets because I did just see something on the TV the other day that in first class they're having this little uproar because people are stealing the blankets and the pillows. And I would think at first class prices, you deserve to bring your pillow and your blanket home with you. So kind of an odd thing, but anyway, well, when I think of flying on long flights, I think of watching movies. So that easily transitions me into both of you as guests. And I think it's really neat that we have you both on because you're both behind the camera as well as, let's say for us here today, you're in front of the camera.
Today, yes.
And so before I kind of dive into each of your specialties, is it unusual for you to be on camera or usually behind the camera?
I'm starting to transition towards in front of the camera. You know, at some point I want to be teaching and learning public speaking, so it's trying to get out of my comfort zone to, you know, do this. So yeah, it's great.
That is good. How about you, Lisa?
I have to be in front of the camera more and more, just for the projects. Like specifically, this film has been a lot of interviewing, and I like to be behind the camera, but yeah, definitely in front of the camera a lot now.
Makes sense. So starting with the film River Blue.
Yes.
It was interesting to me when I heard that you were going to be able to be a guest on the show, and I am just a huge fan of documentaries, especially when they're impactful on things that are going wrong that people don't even really realize are going wrong.
Yes.
I don't want to kind of bullet point your film because you're the producer of it without putting you on the spot too much.
No
Do
problem.
you have a little, maybe like a way of describing it that people would understand what the film's about?
Yeah, a little one-liner.
Yeah, or longer even, it's fine.
It's River Blue is about the manufacturing of clothing and how it affects water globally. So we traveled to various countries, China, Bangladesh, Indonesia, India, where a lot of our clothes are made, and sort of investigated what was happening there, both for the people that are living there and working in these factories, and then what's happening environmentally.
What impacted me watching the film is I know a lot of us are aware that maybe there's factory conditions, you know, that aren't wonderful for, could be long hours and young population of workers, but it never struck me that there was an impact to the water as well.
Yes. Yeah, and that's what was the focus of the film, was really what's happening to rivers, because essentially, just to recap, everything that we wear is dyed, and then they're just dumping these dyes and toxic chemicals into the river, and that's people's drinking water, bathing water, all of the above, and so it's really affecting people and the water quality that way.
And what led you initially to this as a topic? It's intriguing to me.
Yeah, Mark Angelo, who is the river advocate in the film, first brought the idea of river conservation to the director of the film. And it's sort of from there that it all spawned, and we brought a team of people together to go, okay, what's happening around rivers globally and what is really affecting them? And we learned that the fashion industry is the biggest polluter next to oil for water globally. So we thought, okay, that's an important little fact. Let's look at that and see why.
Makes good sense. And I have to tell you, I was a little bit stressed out getting ready to come today because I watched the film and, a denim like everybody. I mean, everything's dyed. I from a black suit to the chairs and all that stuff. But I actually did. I looked in my closet at the different pairs of jeans and was like, okay, one was from China, one was from Indonesia, one was made in America. I thought that was great. But it makes me question my clothing as well.
Absolutely. And being on the film for as long as I have now, the first 2 years I couldn't buy anything. I was going, I don't feel good about any of this anymore. So yeah, it does affect, there's some things you can't unsee.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Well, and I noticed part of the topic today was that you're touring around in San Diego schools this week with the focus on Impact Film Tour. Can you tell a little bit about that tour?
Yeah, absolutely. It's been wonderful so far. We just started yesterday and we've been to 2 high schools. So River Blue played in the San Diego International Film Festival last year. And part of their program, this focus on social impact tour, it is to select one of their films that played in their festival and bring it to high schools, and with the goal to share the project with students. And so some of these environmental documentaries or other documentaries just have critical current issues, and the goal is to share that information and raise awareness with the student body, get their take on it, and they do these great questionnaire before and after to sort of see how the project or film has impacted the students and how they're learning from it. But it's been amazing to sort of see what the students are, how they're responding to the film itself. And in addition on that tour, another goal is to bring it to specifically film students, because it can show them how they can be change makers and how they can use the tool of storytelling to
Makes
be able
sense.
to affect positive change.
And actually, even thinking with Alvin here too, I could see where in the entrepreneurship things, change maker to me is a key word. A lot of people have a story to tell, as you do in the film, and as you do with your clients.
Right.
It just seems that the word change maker and how you can impact the world with a short film.
That's definitely it, because like really what I want to like throw out there is like everybody has a story, and then if you listen it may impact somebody else, and it develops an understanding to you know your experience, and then once everybody knows your experience, they could begin to trust you, and that's what I really want to get into, like with small business, getting people to trust them and using media to gain that trust.
Absolutely. It does. Well, and I'm curious with the students, a lot of times you'll have two different levels of student, what would I say, attention. Some of them are like, yes, we got to take a period off to watch a movie, that kind of a thing. Do they actually watch it while you're there, or have they seen it the week before? How does that operate?
While I'm there,
Okay.
They watch it. So with this program, they watch it while we're there. And that's interesting because you can sort of watch them in the audience too and see how they respond to various parts of the film.
Oh, yeah. Very impactful. Well, and I noticed, again, with you, Alvin, that one of the clients, when I saw on your Facebook stream, was that you had also been, talk about the gal that you filmed on the...
Oh, yeah.
I'll let you tell the story.
Okay, so this person, her name's Linda West, she invited me to go to the after parties of the Academy Awards, which was a charity fundraiser. One of the big people were there was Matthew McConaughey, and I think it's ex-husband of Demi Moore, or I forget. Ashton Kutcher.
Ashton Kutcher, yeah.
So
which ex?
So she couldn't find anybody, so I stepped up to the plate. She invited me, and it was just a phenomenal experience, because like you could see the people that we look up to. Jack Canfield, the author of Chicken Soup for the Soul, and when you talk to them and interview them, they're just people like us, and that's what people have, that block of they're untouchable, and it's like you did something to get there, but it's they worked really hard on it, and they've developed their passion, and I just want to get that through and document it. Yeah. So that was cool.
That is really cool. Oh, and before we go on, I can see that you have some audience participation. We have John giving a wave of a hands up, and we have Alex as well. So
that's my uncle, and my friend from elementary and high school is Alex. That's so funny.
So
Hi, John.
awesome! Thanks for joining us.
Great.
That is really awesome. It's always fun to see. It all goes back to the original playground.
It does.
The sandbox.
Yeah.
It's a great mentality.
Yeah.
As far as all that goes. Well, and even on the phone when I was talking with Alvin and he mentioned Matt McConaughey, I was like, oh, Matt McConaughey, I'm a huge
I was like,
fan.
oh my gosh. that was the first thing I said. It was like, hey, you're going to interview Matthew McConaughey? It's like, all right. I was like, yes.
Well, Lisa, you mentioned that you've been on Entertainment Tonight, is that right? Or some of the shows.
I used to interview for E! And a lot of other shows in the past. So it's always interesting to interview, like you said, people that are celebrities that the rest of the world looks at and goes, oh my gosh, and at the end of the day, they're just a person.
Absolutely.
And as nervous as everyone else who's being interviewed, they get used to it, but.
It goes back to where, you're both comfortable behind the camera and comfortable on the camera, is you understand how people, oh my gosh, I'm going to be filmed, I'm going to be, what if something goes wrong, here on the show, what's going to happen?
How's my hair? What anything in my teeth? Like everybody asks those questions.
Well, you look great.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Yeah, you all look great. That's sweet.
You too.
That's sweet. Well, and by the way, Alvin happened to mention a shout out to the company that you have a hat on from somebody that you.
This guy, I'd like to give a huge shout out. His name's Aaron James. over at Boston. He runs the company Small Business Deacon, and he had a passion to help small businesses, and it's kind of instilled it in me to help small businesses, because understanding, as we're all small business owners, that a lot of times we have to wear different hats, and it what it does, it's it takes away the time that we really should be spending with our family. So it's some of us transition to the 9 to 5 to being a small business owner. It ends up working harder than you were in the 9 to 5. So taking away, adding some relief to them. I mean, that those moments are priceless.
Oh,
so
absolutely.
especially spending with your family. So I mean, I do that all day.
Yeah, I do like that. And it's impactful to me how, with the whole fashion and educating the population, that you can work hard, you can dress nice. It's not like we have to be ashamed of that. It's just, would you almost say, smarter choices with how you determine maybe?
Yeah, it is. We have a tendency to overbuy as a culture. The consumerism has really become something that's hard to navigate around these days, but choosing what we buy that's manufactured in a more sustainable way, it does make a big difference. And it's through all of us voting with our dollar that we can say, no, this is not okay, I'm going to go and buy this instead, because you guys just aren't doing it in a way that's okay for the rest of the world or for us locally. It really does affect everyone. I remember one story was that they found toxins from a factory in China that were in the tissue of a polar bear in the Arctic.
I saw that in your film.
That's how far those can go. I mean, the rivers are connected to oceans, and we're all connected, and it's just something to be aware of. It's affecting everyone.
One of the, I would have said a smaller business, but it was probably a huge company that was in your documentary that it fascinated me. It was an Italian company that had, I don't know if you want to elaborate on it.
Ital Denim.
Yes.
Yeah, Ital Denim was a company that was manufacturing in conventional ways, and then they realized what they were doing and thought, you know what, we're going to change this over completely. So they changed over their own infrastructure to be able to use water filtration systems, recapture steam, to use that as energy and power.
That's great.
Yeah, there's
awesome.
definitely tech out there. And one thing that you mentioned, Alan, was that this is something that people dedicate their lives to, and all of this takes a lot of time.
Right.
I feel like that's anything in every business, whether you're making
That's
a
a good
documentary
point.
film, whether there's fashion designers that care, or whether people with small businesses, it's super important that it all takes time, and any movement in fashion or any business is going to take years.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I love the fact that the whole 10,000 hours, that everybody always talks about. Conceptually, when they were saying it doesn't have to be 10,000 hours, it's well done hours, per se, that somebody might be passionate about a topic and get the same thing done in 2,000 hours that somebody else might take 10,000.
Yeah.
So that's
a
encouraging.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
It's really the work that you put into it that could define of how fast you could go. Some people put I'd say it's like being a black belt in. I train jiu-jitsu, and some people do it in 3 years, some people do it in 10, but it's really the work that you put in the mat. And it's the same in business, and what really you put, what work you put in is what you get out.
Yeah, well said.
Makes really good sense. So transitioning to, again, the things about the film festival, and is it a competition or is it for education?
The tour itself of the festival, the way that works is everyone will submit, filmmakers will submit their films to the festival, and then San Diego International Film Festival will select different projects that sort of fit with their mandate and that they're inspired by. So it's been really amazing to work with them. That team there, Tanya, Stephanie, Cindy, and
feel free to give
Susan.
accolades.
They've been wonderful. They really have been, though. They're a really smart group of people that I've really been having the pleasure to work with so far. And this program with the schools, again, is just fantastic because you're implementing ideas into people that are going to be the change makers of the future.
I agree.
Those are the ones that are going to have to deal with any issues that we have left behind. And when you get to them at that stage, you can see their brains working so fast, and they're going to be the ones that go, no, this is how things should be done.
Makes good sense.
Yeah.
I even find my youngest son's a high school freshman, and he's over at Carlsbad High School, and on the TV station crew, I guess you want to call it. And when they go out to do their stories, to see the passion in the younger people, finding out really the why and the what, and oh my gosh, I didn't realize, and the fact that they're kind of coming up with solutions.
They do.
Yeah, it's really great to see.
One of the things that was interesting, because the film's generally been in festivals, and then this is the
Okay.
first time that we've been in schools, the questions from adults have differed a little bit from the questions from students, and I was shocked to see how business-minded some of the students are.
Well,
One
hearing
student
that.
asked, one student yesterday asked, what would the incentive be for a factory to switch over their manufacturing practices?
Oh,
Good
that's
question.
Great.
What
That
is
a
the
great
incentive?
question.
Yeah.
I like that.
And we could go into a long answer of that, but the short is, the brands kind of have to make the incentive there. Hey, factory, we will still have this amount of dollar value of production happen in your facility if you switch over your infrastructure.
Yeah. Well, and that's the stuff I noticed in watching the documentary. It was a film that I thought to myself, I wish I could get it out to more people,
Yeah.
as far as that goes.
Yeah.
I had watched it on, what was it, YouTube. I rented it, high definition. I think it was like $4,
Yeah.
$4.99 or something like that.
Yeah.
And my thought had been, oh my gosh, how do I get other people to see it? What do you think is the best arena, or how do you suggest that a consumer or anybody out there that's watching the show might be able to gain access to it?
Yes. Right now we're on iTunes, Amazon, Vimeo. Where are we? On a number of platforms right now. Dot Studios, sort of like 6 or 7 different platforms. But
Good.
ultimately, we would like to be on Netflix. So we're in communication with that right now, because I feel like that's a way that a lot of people are ingesting their media now.
Makes sense. I have noticed that sometimes I will go. I am a confessed documentary junkie. I just love them.
I love it.
And so I'm often the only one in the theater. When certain shows come. Is it too expensive to go to mainstream theaters? Is that kind of why it goes more straight to a Netflix?
Yeah.
Or
You have to have a distributor who's willing to put up the money to do it. It
Okay,
is
got it.
expensive to go to theaters.
Yeah.
We did a limited theatrical release on our own by partnering with an organization called Fashion Revolution. And they are present in over 60 countries, and they brought it to theaters themselves.
Okay.
But, and we did one here in the US as well, but it's
Yeah.
very expensive to do theatrical and marketing, because you
Makes
could
sense.
put yourself in the theater, but
Oh yeah.
then to get everyone to go see it still costs millions of dollars.
Makes
too.
really good sense.
Yeah.
Alvin, you've got some tempting magazines there, and
Yeah.
I can tell you want to talk about them, so I'm going to turn the
Yeah.
floor over to you.
Actually, this is one of the parts of the things that I wanted to share that helped develop my businesses, and it's a group in San Diego. It's a mastermind group that I'm working with, is Stijla, and they have a couple different avenues. One of them is you see this, the Life by Design magazine. Well, this is an avenue for entrepreneurs to share their knowledge and experience. Life by Design is the only woman-run magazine, woman-run
know.
entrepreneur magazine in San Diego. They also have another program, is the YES program. It's Young Entrepreneur Society, which cultivates the entrepreneurial spirits in high school students, like leadership and team building and more.
Very nice.
Especially that those things are absent in the high school system. And another one is Success Circle, which I'm a part of, is a gathering of like-minded business owners, and to share our skills and network through the community.
That's
So,
great.
Yeah.
And that was one of the things that came across to me in talking with both of you before the show had come on, how you both want to impact the community in a positive fashion. I think that's such a really important part.
It's important,
Absolutely.
and collaboration and the sharing of information is so important.
Right.
Like, that's really how things happen more quickly, is when we all can sort of speak, share what we've learned,
Yes.
and then go further that way. It's, in the film, we tried to focus on solutions, which it sounds like a lot of your work is too, is
Right.
finding what solutions and
Exactly.
that we can all sort of look forward to and jump on
Yeah.
board with, because it's through that positivity that people start to go, okay, this is something I feel comfortable to do and want to be a part of.
Absolutely. Well, and Alvin, one of the words that every industry has, I'd say, jargon phrases or key
Right.
phrases, and obviously trying to keep up with the phrases in everybody's world is fatiguing. But the digital footprint was a phrase that kept coming up.
Right.
Pretend, like, I love that line, talk to me like I'm a 5th grader.
Well, I mean, nowadays it's like, the internet expanded your reach, and it's important that you have a digital footprint. That way, it's like like it's a lot harder to go in person to like by yourself. It takes a lot of resources out to, but now with the movement of the internet, you can move a lot faster. You could do business in China from Los Angeles. You could do business in Europe, in New York, and things like that. Your reach is like expanded, you know, and it lifts up like the burden of you know, the work burden.
Yeah.
So
that makes really good sense. And so it sounds like for anyone out there watching this that would be interested in increasing their digital footprint, both for their business as an entrepreneur or small business or large business, if Nike wants to work with you,
right.
that's okay too.
Right.
What's the best way for viewers to reach you? I'll start there and we'll work around.
I have social media, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram at 113 Media SD. And I'm building my website at 113 Media SD.
Awesome. And we'll make sure to have some links in the bottom after the broadcast as well.
Thank you.
For sure, yes. And how about for you, Lisa? What's the best way for someone, whether it's about the film or reaching out to you to you know, give you kudos for the project, what's your best resource?
River Blue, the website, riverbluethemovie.eco. All of our handles on social media are at River Blue Movie or at River Blue the Movie, and it's myself or someone on our small little team responding to all of those requests. We also started something called fashionheroes.eco, and that was to promote the people that are doing work in sustainable fashion. So we're encouraging people to nominate local heroes who they feel like would be a fashion hero. So please check out that as well, fashionheroes.eco. It's important for us to acknowledge the people that are doing some great work.
Absolutely, and we'll make sure, same thing, to have some links on that as well. How about a takeaway, something that either you want to make sure that your message gets across or something that's impacted you? I'll start with you, Alvin.
Oh, well, you know, everybody really has a story, and it's like our job to, as everybody's job to, you know, share that story. So I'll be here to help you share that story.
I like that. That's a great takeaway.
Yeah, it's, for me, I mean, that's huge. And so I guess to branch off that, collaboration is invaluable. And I was speaking with someone earlier today just to go, we made a film, but it's the other people that have seen the film that are taking that film on its own journey. And that has nothing to do with us. It's just going, you know, so collaboration is really key. And what you're doing really revolves around that, So it's great. So thanks for being part of this journey.
And I would actually say, from having kind of seen the film and talked to you both and whatnot, my takeaway would be, honestly, to be more deliberate about the choices I make on what fashion products I purchase. It doesn't even have to be fashion, just everything, to think of it maybe with more longevity and less throw it away, thinking recycle or keep it for longer or pass it down and pass it around. And
Thank you for saying that, because it's a big thing.
Okay, good.
Yeah, it's a big point. And
that's a big mindset shift.
It is.
Just from what we're, as growing up, we collect things.
Yes.
And that's what, oh, this is nice, I'm gonna keep it. And then it's a whole shift to learn to let things go, because like when you let things go, another thing comes up that's bigger.
It's true.
And so that's a great part of life.
And then also, like you said, to make choices on things that aren't just disposable. It's like, no, I'm going to try to keep this and honor it for a long time and use it until it can't be used anymore, as opposed to going, oh, broken, done. Oh,
throw it away. I do find that as a real estate broker in San Diego that there's two mentalities. There really is the ship-shaped small house, you know, keep it all very functioning and moving forward, and then I won't point out any clients in particular, but there are some that almost tend on the hoarding side. You know, oh, they've kept everything for the last 40 years.
Right.
And I think, oh my goodness, there's so many people that could benefit from the items if they would just let some of them go.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's awesome. Well, thank you both for being on.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much. It's been so fun. Nice to meet you.
It's a pleasure, Lisa.
Lovely.
And I'm Debi Krichbaum, Real Talk San Marcos, and signing off. Thanks for visiting.